everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Teal Podcast. I'm here, my name is Joey DeGangi, I'm here with Karen Pollard, my co-host. We're joined by Sabine Klaus-Carter, the founder of Calvin's Free From Foods. And we're going to learn a lot about her company, her experiences as a food allergy mom, and her experiences as a startup in the free from industry. So a lot of really cool topics to go over. Sabine, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. So why don't you kind of start by just telling us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Calvin's Free From Foods. You know, we'd love to just kind of get to know you.
Okay, so I'm Sabine from Calvin's Free From Foods, and I created the original coconut bread, which is in here. It comes in packs of 5. It's a flatbread roll, we call it, because it's super versatile. But originally I created it for our son Calvin, hence the name, because Calvin could not have any bread. When we started off with Calvin's allergy journey, that was at 6 months of age when we started weaning, that we found out that basically most foods were not for us. At the beginning we only had 3 foods, and one of them was coconut. The other options would have been broccoli or chicken, and I thought maybe not the best bread idea, maybe to come, I'm not dismissing it, but the next broccoli bread. But what I felt like, I love going out and about, and for us it was actually really important to go out for walks, fresh air, and still to meet people. But it became harder and harder. I needed food because back then I was still feeding him, breastfeeding him, and so I needed to be on the same diet so he would not have reactions. So I thought, I need some form of bread, and I am German and I missed bread. I just wanted to have bread in the morning, and there is I don't know if you've seen on my social media, there's this picture of like 5 a.m. in the morning. Calvin used to sleep on my back, and at the beginning, because we really could not have any foods, I was actually trying to, in the frying pan, make bread just to have something. And then once I got something, it was a real game changer out and about. We obviously couldn't have something like jam and just have some healthy filling snack with us. And it was really nice then to also see it was food we could share with other toddler friends, and they all loved it. And it was at the beginning just for us. And then I found out more about allergies. I'm not having like a family allergy background. I did not know how huge this was and how severe it could be. And I literally would have been the mom on the playground, not understanding if another mom would say, excuse me, it's like my child has allergies. I would have not understood the severity. So I always emphasize with mothers when I say like, oh, do you mind? It's like, this could have been me, because I didn't. But then I find out there's more and more people like us that can't have bread for various reasons. So it is huge in the allergy community, but also outside it for various reasons that people can't have bread. So I felt like really I needed to do something about that.
Yeah. Very much a case of out of necessity comes invention. So yeah. And I think I can really empathize with you there on that point, Sabine. We're very similar as well with our own family. Before Aoife came along, I hadn't met anybody with allergies. So you are thrown into this unknown world.
Yeah.
And that's been a common experience from so many families that we've spoken with. But
yeah, I know my parents were the same way.
Yes.
Yeah.
The things haven't really changed, actually.
No. Unless you're in that world, it's there's not a lot of there's not enough awareness around it outside of that community. Definitely. Yeah.
It must have been really tough for you as well, having a very limited diet, and the fact that he could only have those 3 foods.
Yeah, we went. The 2 of us went for weeks and weeks, actually in total 5 months, on that kind of diet. I obviously lost a lot of weight on that. There's just so much chicken and broccoli and coconut you eat for breakfast, and but it was worth it. Yes. And we did it with supervision of a nutritionist. So it's called a TED diet, a total elimination diet, because Calvin was reacting left, right, and center. So we had to cleanse his entire system to actually find out, what is it? Like, my child had reactions when I just pushed him in the pram through the supermarket. So I was like, why is he now getting hives? What is happening? And we really had to find our way. So we had to bring it right down to near zero and then build up from it. And I have to say, it was worth it. It was hard, but totally worth it. And we could then just sort of, and we still had the benefit, we could introduce something through me. I kept a food diary, which was Calvin and my food diary, including bowel system symptoms and his mood and his sleep pattern, everything, because he was just a few months old. He could not tell me apart from, is he unsettled? And through that we then found, okay, we can't have this, we can't have that, but we can have this and that. Like, we can have sweet potatoes, amazing, you know, you can do already so much. And so bit by bit we find our way, and I would say he has now very varied and healthy diet still, despite having all his allergies. And we are quite confident in it. It allowed us to be on a good path, on our path. It's different for everyone, and allergies is not it's so, I've met someone who has an allergy to lettuce. It's like, you know, it's like you never, it is so varied, it could be anything.
That's absolutely true. And I think your approach is extremely fastidious in the fact that you really educated yourselves, and in a very in a very disciplined way, and I don't think it would be great if that approach was followed and adopted by so many more people, because I think that's the key thing that you seem to have hit, is about ensuring that he's being fulfilled nutritionally in an extremely limited diet. And that's a common issue and challenge for allergy families, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think we've been, as much as I don't wish the allergies on us or anybody, I think we've also been very lucky. My husband and I, we've been heavily into sports. I've been sort of very much into bodybuilding, and I really enjoyed that. So you follow a very strict diet. So I came from ballet to bodybuilding. Nothing I did professionally. It was always hobby, but it was my life. And so the diet very closely followed how you build your body. And I think I had sort of the slight advantage here. I already knew a lot about nutrition, but again, the allergies completely changed that. I had to relearn and learn so many new things, but we were already on a quite good level to start at. And I always looked at food in terms of nutrition. What can it do for my body so I'm at my best and at my optimum health? And that I then took on to, how can we put Calvin onto his optimum health? He has a dysfunctioning immune system, but there is a range in that. And we know and we've seen, if we're no angels. So if we are on like a few days of not the top food, then we notice in his reaction scale. So he might have been like back in the days before the C word, we go to a soft play, but even if he's coming down with a cold, his immune system is obviously so much more attackable, and so are his allergies. And that is kind of bringing the balance and the optimum health, not heighten his immune system, because that could make him also overreactive, but bringing it to a good optimum. That's what we're always striving to. And I think that's what my hope and my goal is for our business, that we can help people achieve that, and also in a quite quite easy way. That's what I like about the bread. It's kind of like easy. It's so easy to incorporate. You don't need to do anything greatly extra.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely, sometimes it can feel like you have to choose between eating like allergy friendly or healthy. Like I like having the, you know, looking at the two as like compatible goals. I think that's important. I really like that approach.
Definitely.
Yeah, and as an allergy parent and as an allergy sufferer, you're enough in the kitchen.
That is true. Yes. Yes, we do love a quick and easy hack at times. So And actually, we had the pleasure of trying out the Calvin's free from breads last week, because it's the same for us going to the supermarkets. And Eve is not the biggest lover of bread, so I'm always trying to find something unique to try and vary her diet and make it a bit more interesting. But the issue that you do have with so many of the products is there's too many numbers and letters and words you cannot even pronounce. So what I love about the Calvin's bread is the fact that it's only 5 ingredients. So
including water.
There you go. I mean, how simplistic is that? But I love the fact that what you said about the versatility as well, Sabine. I mean, we had pizzas, we had pittas, we had toasties, we made pancakes. So it's fantastic how it's a great canvas to develop your meal from. So great, well done on that.
Thank you. It's like, it's the humble bread, but I was brought up on bread, and I always made my own bread. And when I made my own bread back in the days, it was flour, yeast, a little bit of oil, and salt and water, and that's kind of again what I wanted to make for our bread is not put anything unnecessary in there. So so I'm glad you've been enjoying it in so many ways.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's going to be such a game changer for the allergy community. So we're really excited to see how the Calvin's Free From is going to be growing. And tell us about what the plan is. Big master plan. I've been also always going a little bit with the flow. I've been very, very lucky, I think, on my entrepreneur journey. Been having wonderful support from people. I managed to find a completely allergen-free factory that is also gluten-free and vegan, with super supportive team behind it, which is very, very important. So as much as people see me, there's a lot of other hands behind it that have been making this happening in the various ways. So for next year, we have already the follow-on products planned. So there will be more exciting bread inventions coming. So watch that space. And we're looking to grow and looking to also grow organically. We want to reach people, and that's what we love about actually the whole e-commerce. It's amazing. We maybe could stock a shop and we have that in plan, but if we just stock one shop, then only the people around there could get to it. That's it.
I ship all across the UK, and I just sort of I manually type in all the addresses, and there's like places I have not heard about, and I find that it's great. We can reach and help people anywhere in the UK at the moment. So we're trying to expand our network and our range of how we deliver. So we're working on every angle to grow the business in a way that is beneficial to our customers. Yeah,
I think that's a great point, Sabine. And given the timing of your products being available and accessible to everybody, we're all staying at home at the moment. So it's great that you're finding ways to get your breads that are so needed to your customer bases without them having to deal with the restrictions and the logistics of trying to search in supermarkets and that. One of the things that's been very interesting to us, where you said you ship right across the UK, is a lot of people have said that where communities are in more rural locations and having access to free from foods and support and services, do you find that you're reaching those communities?
Yes. So if to be honest, it slightly depends. If it would need a plane or boat to get there, it's which we still have in the UK. There are places that is slightly different, but as long as we can drive there. So we have certain postcodes we endeavor to ship next day, but if they are remote, they have to go through a second depot. So and I track the deliveries, and I usually, if I'm aware, I will give a heads up to my customer and say like, well, you know, I noticed your postcode is remote. There might be a 1 or 2 day delay. I'm monitoring it, and because I want to ensure that the bread arrives as fresh as possible to the customers. Another beauty of the bread is actually that it freezes really well.
Oh, okay.
And so when we done sampling, like for example at the Allergies show, it was always frozen product, and people absolutely loved it. And when we send it to taste tests, we actually ship them frozen product, because they sometimes did a taste test over a number of weeks and days, because we wanted different groups. So and our bread actually in the latest taste test that we've done, we also had it cross compared, and it won. And so it's like it maintains its taste and flavor and how it functions really well despite it being frozen.
That's amazing. That's always the one criticism that we have in our household, when my husband knows if I've frozen the bread. It doesn't taste the same, does it? Does this come out the freezer? So, I mean, it's great that you've cracked that challenge. So, and I think also, like, you know, we have shipment costs, so and that is at the moment passed on to our customers, because especially as a startup, we could not do it financially in a different way. But at the same time, I can say, just order a box of 10. If you have space in your freezer, just put the 8-9 packs in the freezer, and you can take it out as you need. And it helps also people to have, again, the convenience of, I have my 3 extra gluten-free relatives coming round when we can.
Of course.
I just take that out of the freezer, or there's a mini pizza party. There's always something in the house, you know. Because at the moment you can't go, I just snip down to the store and pick it up, but it's already there. Amazing.
So I'm curious, what made you take the plunge and start your own business? Now I'm curious about kind of like what started the entrepreneurial journey for you now. Now we know other stuff.
It was a really hard one, and people who know me from my previous life, which is pre-Calvin, I had my own video production company. So it was a corporate video production company, which was kind of my first baby, and I absolutely loved it. And to say I closed down the business and make bread, which is also completely different, and learn a completely new craft and business side, was big. It was really, it was not easy, but I did the transition over 3 years. So because I had also very good customers there, I never wanted to let anybody down, so I transitioned it quite smoothly, and also for my own heart. And and to be honest, it has worked very much in my benefit to have that skill, to know about production side, and how you organize things. I think especially in this online world, being able to know about video and photography helps.
Absolutely, What is it? They say always content is king. And I know we've seen, some of the videos on your social media, the graphics, I mean, they are always high quality.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. Makes sense.
Definitely. I mean, we are.
It's still always hard to do it for yourself, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely. It's like I can talk about you, I can talk about someone else, but talk about myself? Like, no, that's now I don't know what to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we do find your weekly Insta lives that you do with the nutritionist Cara Redpath is absolutely invaluable in terms of the topics that you discuss, and they're great takeaways. I mean, it's 10-15 minutes, and there's fantastic discussions that go on, but it's what I really personally take away from it is that you're coming from an allergy mum's point of view, and Cara complements it really well with the balance of the nutritional medical voice. And it is there is that whole thing about your maintaining your nutrition for your whole family. And when you take allergies into the mix, that's a massive part of it. But I do like the fact that you bring other topics and other areas around health and nutrition into that we probably don't consider, because we are so focused on what's safe to eat as opposed to what's not safe to eat.
Yeah. So for us, Cara and I, we sometimes plan them well ahead, but sometimes it's also because we just like it's sometimes a week where we both, her from a client's point of view and I from a customer point of view, been receiving messages of the same along the lines, which is really interesting. And there seems to be that seems to be a question that or an issue that is troubling people at the moment. How can we help? How can we give a little bit more information? And I think with Cara being a fully registered nutritionist and highly qualified, and also one of the kindest people I know, it allows us to share a bit more information than just beyond bread or beyond what I know. There is just like we all have just so much scope, and she is absolutely amazing. I always have to watch that I'm not sitting there with my mouth open. It's like this is so interesting. That is brand new also information, because she's always at the top of what is the latest research.
Yes, definitely. And that comes through so much, Sabine. She is like a walking encyclopedia of nutrition. So we're very fortunate to get a glimpse into that content that you're able to deliver each week. So keep them coming.
Oh yes,
yeah, please.
Yeah, we're always really enjoying them, and it's always good fun to share what we just learned. It's like, this is so interesting. And we always hope to help other people, and maybe because I know as an allergy mom, when I first did not know anything about it, and then one thing which we had most the ambulance out for was FPIES for Calvin. FPIES is a reasonably unknown type of allergy. It's so unknown that a lot of doctors don't know about it. What it is, it comes from the gastro area of the body. So it is like, I can't even describe it. It's the amount a child can throw up. I did not know that. And Calvin had it to rice, which is recommended in the UK as the first food. So basically what happened, Calvin throwing up, I have never ever seen this in my life before, like everything that was in his little body, and then he goes blue and limp, and and it was the most traumatic ones, and it literally took 3 events, and then I read about it online in one of the forums, and I went like, this is exactly what he's having, and it's rice, and he took rice out. So it was like, I was so grateful that someone shared the information online, because we were not told that by the medics. We were just sort of like, kind of it happens. It's like, there was no answer, and so I'm so grateful, and I hope that maybe for some people go like, maybe some things make a little bit of click, and like, I should speak to my doctor about that, because we did take the information to the doctor. We're not just like self-diagnosed and changed everything, and I would never recommend anyone to do that. It's like, you take the information that you found, and feedback. And sometimes you can also be wrong, but maybe you can sometimes help then your doctor on a better path to do another or different test to find out what is really going on. So I think, that's what I think my sort of end goal or hope for the podcasts are.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important that information sharing, because that communication pathway does lead to a better diagnosis and long-term strategy, because it is a long-term strategy for managing allergies. And that's where we came from with the Teal app, is to help that process between families and the medical professions, and the fact that you can have your multiple profiles within your family, because there will be invariably more than one person that is affected. And it could even be like you and Calvin were at the start of your journey, where your diet through breastfeeding him was very big telltale signs as to what was actually affecting him or not. And so in our own way, we're trying to make it easier as well, to allow you to, through your multi-profiles, to record all your diary entries every time something strange happens. That laid back without you having to rely on your knowledge. And because when you recount something verbally, there might be that important piece of information that might seem insignificant, but that could be what triggers actually. That's what we need to be focusing on for the diagnosis.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and I love the idea, because you can track it of, it's like, okay, on Monday I ate that, or my child ate that, and then on Tuesday evening he had a rash. It's like, where's that rash all of a sudden coming from? But then a couple of weeks later you see the same pattern, but you had all the other foods in between, but the one food you had again. And it's just, you can, and I think, and then again you can take that to your health professional and say, look at this, and they can analyze it. And again, it's having a track record is so important. And I think that's what I love about the app. So I just signed up, and it looks like that's what we've been waiting for in the allergy community. That's what
thank you.
That's so nice to hear. That's exactly what we were hoping. That's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, just finding ways to simplify, like yourself. Simplify. So going back to your entrepreneurial journey, so we've seen such an explosion of, number one, female founders and new startups in the free from space, which is really incredibly exciting, because it means that we're making the industry is making foods more accessible, mainstream. The worth of the free from has doubled in the last 5 years, something like 938 million last year, which is phenomenal. So there's a massive growth happening. What would your advice be to somebody that's probably in a similar situation like you, where they're probably starting to find that they're the solution maker to problems, but there is a commercial opportunity and potential there? So what would your advice be to somebody right at the beginning of their journey?
I think very first thing is write down what you would like to achieve, and if you have some form of product, even better, or a service. I've seen some great sort of allergy advice, different forms of services there as well, which I think is great. And I think we're very lucky in this country. There is so much business support out there. So my first port of call was Business Gateway, and I'm still talking to the same people today, and I've been on accelerator programs. You can also check with your bank your bank can give really great support because they want to help businesses, because at the end of the day, if you make money, it makes them money. So it's a benefit, you know, if you do well, they will do well. So they are actually interested in helping, and you can get a lot of free advice there. And then obviously find your community, like find your allergy community. And online, it's amazing. Connect with people on LinkedIn. And nice people are always happy to have at least a 5 minutes chat to help other people.
That's brilliant. That's lovely advice.
That's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very, very encouraging as well. So yeah. You also successfully went through a round of crowdfunding. Please tell us all about that, because I think funding's a big part of it.
Yes.
It's huge. I think with crowdfunding, it was one of these things that it went on for months, if not even like a whole year. You know, I went like close to it and then did not do it, close to it. But every time I learned something on the steps. And I think with a successful crowdfund, some people think they might just set up a page and then people will just donate. And yes, maybe for some people it works, but I think you need actually a marketing plan and a marketing strategy behind it. So I had it planned. I had my whole journey planned. I had, from the crowdfunding platform, I also had a mentor, and she checked in, and then she went like, Sabine, this is doing really well, do this, or you have not done this yet, maybe try that. And you also need to show people where is the personal benefit for them. And I was very keen on having people on my crowdfunding who I can help with it. And, you know, you obviously get your friends and family that support you, which is so vital and so appreciated. But you also want to get the people who want the bread and later, and give them also a good reward. And that is, and I had really kind supporters that they wanted to give me money and did not pick a reward. And I've been contacting, and it's like, do you still don't want one? Because I want to share the bread.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And something that intrigues me is Calvin and even my little one are very similar ages. How does he feel about being the face and the name of a brand that I think is going to be very, very well recognized?
Oh, he's still at that wonderful innocent age. Give another couple of years. I think he might think differently, but at the moment he's enjoying it. He is actually, like at the beginning I had delivered bread when we also still could, and he came sometimes with me, and he was like, oh, here's your bread. He was like super excited, handing people his bread and he can read his name on it now. And he's like, when I first got the first load of packaging, he did not want to share the packaging because it obviously had his name on it, but now he understands.
Yes.
Right.
That was Calvin's. Yes.
There's my name on it.
Makes sense.
Yes. That makes sense.
Oh, that's very cute.
So I said, he's still very innocent. He's good fun, and but I think allergy children understands especially about food a lot earlier, because he has to go to parties and be told you can't eat here, and I have to say, touch wood, so far we've been very fortunate. He's never moaned to eat out of his Tupperware. It is about having fun at a birthday party or other celebration, but he knows what it means not to be able to have food. So he actually does really enjoy sharing food, I have to say.
That's a very important point. Eve is exactly like that, incredibly resilient and able to advocate for herself and name all of her allergies. And she's very good about always saying to a grown-up, have you checked with my mummy? So she knows the drill, and she's always asking whenever there's something new, is this okay? Is this safe? And Joey, it was like that for you growing up as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever we would go out to the restaurant, I had a pre-rehearsed, do you have any peanuts, tree nuts, peanut flour, peanut anything? I can have an allergic reaction in less than 20 minutes. Please make sure. I still have it down. You have the whole thing memorized. And that's so important to start that way.
Yeah. And how old were you when you were able to give them the drill? Oh
man, I think about as soon as I could talk. I think my parents, I was probably doing it before I can actually remember doing it. Because it's always been that way. Yeah. I don't remember ever going to a restaurant where that wasn't my responsibility, which is, that's really helpful because now I can't forget it. Yeah.
That's really interesting to hear. Because this will be probably Calvin's answer in a few years' times as well. It's grow up. Yeah, that was one of his first words. I can't have this.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it keeps them safe. It's life. I always say it's like road safety. You don't run out of the road, and the same goes for allergy children with their foods. Yeah,
definitely. And it's an important life skill. Allergies aside, it's teaching them as individuals to be confident and assertive, which will carry them well in life. So
it's about empowering them.
Definitely. So something we like to ask our guests of a tongue-in-cheek.
Oh no! I know what's coming.
You got it. You got this.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a very short question. Just say the first thing that comes to mind and what's at the top of your head. So you're an allergy mum if...
He said, fortunately, a short question. Like, this is a long answer.
That's fine. Well,
I think if you always go everywhere with a giant rucksack, no matter if it's like a wedding celebration, you always have a big rucksack. I think that is probably...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's probably in short, but I have a lot of other things to add to this. What makes me an allergy mum?
That is true.
That's good. Yeah, I like that response.
Overnight for a camping trip, even if it is a few hours away from home.
And I love when I have them really kind friends who are like, "Shall I take it?" And they take it and go. We did not know it weighs a ton.
Oh God. So Sabine, is there anything that you think we haven't covered, anything is burning on you would like to share as a takeaway for people to remember?
As a takeaway for people to remember, I think trust your own instinct. Listen to your body. I think that is, especially as an allergy person, really important, and do what feels right for yourself, because there's a lot of advice out there, and as I said earlier, it's different for everybody. So just follow what your body says it's right, and obviously consult your medical professional, but I think there's a lot you can find inside yourself.
Amazing.
And you're stronger than you think you are. I think that's what you find as an allergy parent, I think, a lot of times.
Definitely. Fantastic. And where can we find your bread? Is it available for sale?
Yes, it's available online on our website, www.calvinsfreefromfoods.co.uk. And on our social media, you can find us as well at Calvin's Free From. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Amazing.
And we will, of course, as always, be sure to put your links in the description on the podcast, YouTube, and within the Teal app. So a lot of ways to find Sabine and try Calvin's Free From.
Brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. That was so kind.
Of course.
All right.
Glad to have you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.